Time to twist it up. Hey y'all, it's your girl LaQuinta, and welcome to this episode of Twisted Up. Like I told you before, she's crawling. Like I told you before, this is real life. Danye's at home with me today. Thank God my husband just left to go and play golf, so we should be good for filming this episode. But let me tell you what happened. I filmed yesterday these muffins, and it was an epic fail. So I am a firm believer in that you try and try again. Now, it used to be that I was not that type of person. I used to really be down about, oh my God, I failed. But people don't understand that failure gives you the opportunity to be able to go back and assess what you did or did not do, and then make tweaks and come back. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So the recipe we're doing today, again, is going to be sweet potato cranberry muffins. Now, I normally don't do muffins in the summertime, but a sweet, sweet dear friend of mine has been on me about these sweet potato muffins. And as you see, it is now summertime and I have not done them. So I was doing some meal prepping. I had sweet potatoes on my menu for meal prep. So I was like, let me go ahead and make the muffins. So we're just gonna jump right in. I'm not gonna show you ingredients in a different frame. I'm just gonna go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. So of course, you gotta have your wet and you gotta have your dry ingredients. So we'll talk about the dry ingredients first. I have a cup of all-purpose baking flour, and then I have a half a cup of almond flour. Now, if you didn't know about almond flour gives like a buttery taste, of course, because of the nut, and it gives like moisture. And I think that's where I went wrong, because I used too much. That was one of the places I went wrong. I used too much almond flour. So I have 1 cup all-purpose and a half a cup of the almond, because I still want the moisture there. So there's the first set of ingredients. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of salt, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of, is it powder or soda? Baking powder. So we're gonna mix the dry ingredients first. So I'm gonna dump all this here. There goes that one. And we're just gonna mix it in. Let me get in the frame here. All right. And I think that's where I went wrong. Y'all, when I tell y'all, my doggone muffins just tore apart, I was so sad. And I baked them, I know, for about an hour and a half. And they still, the moisture was still there. And of course, you know, sweet potatoes, they have, you know, moisture too. Their moisture have a lot of moisture as well. So I cut down the number of sweet potatoes also. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to use cranberries. It calls for a cup of cranberries. You can put cranberries in, you can use a cup, you can omit the cranberries, add whatever you want to, or you don't have to use them at all. I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup because, of course, I think that's where it went wrong too. So I'm going to mix this in with my dry. I should have mixed that in. So we're going to do that real quick so it's in there, okay? So I have coconut sugar. I don't use a lot of white sugar. I like to use coconut sugar just simply because it is supposed to be low glycemic, meaning that it doesn't impact your blood sugar right away, so it doesn't make your blood sugar spike once you eat it. So we're going to use, and it has moisture as well. So it calls for a half a cup of sugar. So if you're using regular sugar, use half a cup of white sugar, but I'm going to use a 1/4 of a cup of my coconut sugar, which of course the sweet potatoes are sweet. because I cooked them ahead of time and so they've been sitting. There's that. And then, oh, this was supposed to go over here. This was a dry ingredient, y'all. So we're just gonna mix this stuff in. Okay. And then I have 2 sweet potatoes, and I didn't mash them because I wanted you to see. It's like a medium sweet potato. So I'm gonna use 2 of those today. And then I have vanilla almond milk. Normally I would put extract in here, but I don't have to use it because I have vanilla almond milk. So that is a good substitute. If you ever have a recipe where it calls for vanilla extract, you can use vanilla almond milk or vanilla coconut or something like that. So we're gonna mash the potatoes in a minute, and then we're gonna pour this in. This is a 1/2 cup of vanilla almond milk, and then I have a 1/4 cup of melted butter. And you know what my butter is. Y'all know my mama put me on. Land O'Lakes is a little bit more expensive, but it's a better quality butter for me. So this is salted Land O'Lakes. They sell it in like an 8-pack with the mini sticks. So there's that. And so we're gonna mash these. Move this out. And you can take if you have a masher, use a masher. If you don't, what is it, woman God? You gonna go around and get them? You can go in my shot. Diane gotta go in my shot because we got our dinner actually in there. All right, so the sweet potatoes, just mash them with a fork or a masher. And then I'm going to put my dry ingredients in this bowl since it's bigger. So we're gonna fold this in. My cup of milk, my 1/2 cup of milk, and then the 1/4 cup of melted butter. Make sure your butter is melted. All right, so we're gonna fold this in, as Danye's like, fold it in. It's called folding in. I'm a baker, that's what she told me today. So what I'm gonna do is put this over, because see, it's already enough moisture. If I would have added an egg, and I added that the last time. So we took away one of the sweet potatoes because it calls for 3. So that's all I do. I just take recipes offline that I'm interested in, and I just put the tweaks on them. So, okay, this is folded in, so we're gonna put our dry ingredients in. And fold those in as well. I'll keep my fork just in case this is hard to stir. Now, if I see where I need some more moisture, I will probably add more milk versus an egg. All right, so it should look like that. And that looks a little bit more, I don't know the word, I can't find the word for it, but it doesn't look as wet. So we're gonna see how it goes. It might not yield the 12 muffins, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna try to stretch it. So I have my muffin pan, and I know she was glad to come out. And what Danye did, Danye took just some vegetable oil and filled in the cups, you know, with the oil. And then, if you can see, she bought this, Danye be on it, y'all. Danye bought this, let me show you what she bought. This cinnamon sugar, whereas I was gonna actually mix it myself, but Danye, smart. Okay, so we're gonna fill it. I'll show you. I'll fill a couple, and then I will put them, well, then I'll stop recording, because you don't have to see me fill all of them. But you want to have your oven preheating at 375, and you should have to bake for at least 20 to 25 minutes. just depending on your oven's cooking speed. And then of course, to see if they're finished, just take a toothpick, stick it through. If it comes out clean, that means it's done. If it's not, if it's still some on the toothpick, of course you put them back in there. So here we go. And so we're going to fill them halfway, because what happens is they will rise and then they'll fall in the midst of it. It's crazy. If you go check in between. Okay. So we're gonna fill them like 3/4 of the way up. And then what I'll do, let me show you what I'm gonna do. I take my little utensil here and I just kind of you do it like that, do it flat like that. Can you see? Just do it flat like that. You know, just to kind of make it even. Okay, so we're going to finish these and then we're gonna pop these babies in the oven. Then I'll come back after the 10 minutes because they have to cool in the pan for 10 minutes. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. So in the meantime, in between time, let me fix my camera. First of all, I was doing some meal prep while I was waiting. So what ended up happening, I had to let them cook 375. I did 20 minutes at first and then I let them cook an extra 10 minutes. I did open one up and I should have did it on camera, but I was just trying to see what the consistency was on the inside because they're not mine. I'm actually giving them to somebody, but it was moist. It was very moist. But if you feel like 30 minutes is not enough, then of course, you know, I did it in 5-minute increments. You could do it that way and then just kind of keep testing to see if they're all the way cooked like you want them to be. I did do the toothpick test, and when I did stick it in there, it was clean. So that's why I went ahead and took them out. But they're very, very moist on the inside. And so I wanted to do the last few on camera. I let them sit, I know, like for about an hour because I was doing meal prep for the week. So I will put one up to the camera. Look how they're popping out. You can't see that one, but it's just popping out. I didn't even have to, you know how you have to sometimes take it. I didn't have to do none of that. Another thing I did, I took some of the cinnamon sugar and I put it on the top. So it's gonna be real good. So this is what it looks like. It cooked real good, real brown, moist. And I put the cinnamon sugar on top of it, see, on top of it while they were hot. So yeah, so try this recipe and just let me know. I know my friend is gonna let me know how they taste. So the recipe that I gave today, it yielded 10 muffins. I ate one. So it'll yield 10 muffins. So you can probably add another half a sweet potato to it if you want to do 12, but I wouldn't add any more like milk or anything wet because the sweet potato has enough moisture, enough water in it within itself. So I'm going to get these prepped and together. I'm going to call her and tell her that the second time was a charm, and I'm going to get these to her. I was meal prepping and using the mandolin, and if you don't know what a mandolin is, it's this little slicer thing, and I knew I was going to do it and slice my little finger. So yeah, so I was doing food prep as well. So thank you for joining me for this episode, this recipe episode of Twisted Up. Like I said before, if you have not subscribed and you're watching, first of all, thank you for watching, but make sure you subscribe before you leave, and also click the notification bell so you will know when any future episodes of Twisted Up is uploaded. I'll be uploading some more recipes. I have another one out there for no-bake cookies. And then I also have an episode of Danye, my daughter's birthday. And then I'll be adding some workouts. So thank you for your support. Make sure you like, comment, and make sure you share it. See you next time. Bye.